Several people were shot dead in Kenya on Thursday after security forces fired in the air and lobbed tear gas to disperse mourners at a stadium, according to a police source and local media. Thousands had gathered to view the body of deceased opposition leader Raila Odinga. Odinga, a major political figure for decades, died on Wednesday, aged 80, in India, where he had been receiving medical treatment. After his body arrived at Nairobi's international airport on Thursday, chaos erupted as mourners surged onto the runway. It prompted a 2-hour suspension of airport operations. Thousands lined the streets as crowds also tried to breach Parliament, where the government had originally scheduled the public viewing. Mourners gathered at the gates of the stadium before pushing through and then taking cover as shots were fired by soldiers on guard. Though mainly known as an opposition figure, Odinga became Prime Minister in 2008. He also struck a political pact with President William Ruto last year in a career of shifting alliances.
Kenya's Raila Odinga, a veteran opposition leader at the heart of the country's politics for decades, has died at the age of 80, people close to him have said. A family source said on Wednesday that Odinga had passed away in India while receiving medical treatment. His hospital said he had suffered a cardiac arrest. In response, hundreds of Kenyans took to the streets of the capital Nairobi, crying and waving twigs to ward off bad omens as they formed a procession to his home.
Now we are mourning Odinga. It is really sad. We have lost a leader who fought for the rights of Kenyans.
As a democracy activist, Odinga leaves a legacy that helped seal two of Kenya's most important reforms: multi-party democracy in 1991 and a new constitution in 2010. He was first jailed in 1982 after a coup attempt against then-President Daniel Arap Moi, whose government jailed, tortured and murdered opponents. Odinga served a total of 9 years in jail, 6 in solitary confinement. In 2007, he led protests after a disputed election. Kenya was plunged into its most serious political violence since independence.
There must be justice, truth. That's when there will be peace. There can be no peace when there's injustice.
Around 1,300 people were killed and hundreds of thousands displaced from their homes. The violence led to a power-sharing government with Odinga as Prime Minister. In that role, he pushed for a new constitution that, after a 2010 referendum, ushered in sweeping reforms.
No one could have thought that out of the bitter harvest of the disputed elections and the violence that pitted our people against each other just 2 years ago, we would be witnessing today the birth of a national unity that has eluded us for more than 40 years.
Odinga ran for the presidency, unsuccessfully, 5 times. However, he was often near the levers of power through deals struck with his opponents, a knack that earned him the nickname Agwambo, meaning the mysterious one. Odinga's last bid for the presidency was in 2022. He lost to incumbent President William Ruto and challenged the result, which was then upheld by the Supreme Court. Undeterred, Odinga launched street protests, only to strike a pact with Ruto in 2024, effectively leaving Kenya without an official opposition. On Wednesday, world leaders issued their condolences, with India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi calling Odinga a towering statesman, and Tanzanian President Samia Suluhu Hassan describing his death as a tragedy not just for Kenya, but for all of us.
Fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.